Hello, my name is Amy Dempster with Following Hawks, and I am here today with Lindsey Swope to chat a little bit about the Earth Tenders Academy. So thank you so much for being here, and just introduce yourself and give us a little background about your spiritual journey and your spiritual work.
Well, I've been an earth person for many, many, many years. I have a undergrad degree in geology and a master's in geography, and I've worked mainly with fairies and devas. I'm going to say the last 25 years. I'm losing track. So I've definitely researched many avenues and paths in the earth energy tradition. So I was excited to find the Earth Tenders Academy to add that to my repertoire.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy you found your way here as well. Well, tell me a little bit, like when you heard about the Earth Tenders Academy, what were you hoping to learn?
I think in some ways I liked the, well, first of all, I guess because I had read your blog about portals and things, that I knew you were connected. So it's one of those things that I think for me sometimes it's like, okay, this is a teacher that feels like they have something to offer me. And then, I look at what are they offering and which of those offerings have something to offer me. So you were the first part. And then Earth Tenders, it was kind of like to have a more, have a wider approach, I guess. Because the one that I've been using, which is Paralandra, which is from the East Coast, it's like I knew its strengths and weaknesses, and I was looking for something. Well, I guess it just felt like this had a broader approach, put it that way, than what, because Paralandra is more I don't know, it's like it's good for your own land or for specific projects. But yeah, it just felt like you were going to be bringing a broader background to it.
As far as the energy work with the land.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. And so, and why were you looking for, a broader kind of perspective?
I wasn't actually looking for it, but it's one of those things that it came across. Things come across my field, and it's like, oh, is this something that would benefit me? And then I always ask my guides, is this something that would benefit me? And then they said, yes, you should do it.
Awesome. I know, I operate the same way. So sometimes they just say, there's just something there for you. You just have to go check it out and see what it is. So that's awesome. So, thinking back over the specific topics of the course, which, 2 or 3 topics stood out most to you, or did you most enjoy?
Well, let's see. I can say that let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to put this. Well, I'll say that the 2 that I had the strongest responses to were the portal meditation when we went to the big yellow portal, and the timeline meditation. Mm-hmm. Those both were like really rich and very, like the timelines, to release the 3D timeline, I had all this fear come up. And it was interesting, and I read somebody else on Facebook had a similar response, where it's like, it took me like all that night to work through the fear. And there's part of it that's like, oh, should I not have done that? But it's like, no, it's just that by releasing the 3D timelines, you then have to move through that energy. And so instead of living it through, the next year or whatever, you're just getting rid of it in one night. So
it's such a strange sensation compared to,
yeah,
makes you realize how much the energy has changed, over the years,
yeah,
and the fact that we,
yeah,
can just remove something in a very
yeah.
different way than many of us have been really working through healing energy and that type of thing. So yeah, I
Yeah, yeah,
completely understand. I went through the same myself.
yeah, yeah. But
um,
also,
oh yeah.
I liked the physical. It's like maybe it was the second module where you were looking at where you are physically in terms of your watershed, and I think that was a really important thing that sometimes people miss. And the ancestors one, meeting both ancestors of the land and ancestors of the blood. I don't know if you use those terms or if I got them somewhere else. But
I usually just say your ancient ancestors, but yes, that totally, ancestors of the blood makes
yeah,
perfect sense.
yeah. That's another key point that I think some people miss out on that is really enriching. So those were two other modules that really, but they were all great. They all added
more ideas to
yeah,
to the big picture. Well,
yeah.
are there specific things that you can say, your practice has changed as a result of some of the things that you experienced through the Earth Tenders Academy?
Um, Let me see. Well, yeah, well, certainly in the portal meditation, I met a very large being who might use the term goddess. I don't usually think in terms of goddesses, but and so that's sort of been influential moving. It's like I sort of feel like I've developed a relationship with her that started then, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's still ongoing and still building. But
Yeah.
it
So a
is, I
new
do feel
guide
like,
really that came through.
yeah,
For,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm still learning how to work with her.
yeah.
But
Sometimes it takes some time.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Um, have you found any new skills that, within yourself that have come through or that you've begun to use in this last handful of months?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. This this year has been really expansive for me. As I mentioned to you, Earth Tenders is one of 4 sort of in-depth spiritual courses that I've done this year. So it's been really interesting to me how they've sort of fed each other, and some of them overlapped a little bit, and some of them offered sort of complementary aspects to my practice. So I don't know. I feel like it's just given me. I think one thing, especially the practicum part, really gave me more confidence in, knowing what I'm getting, that I can trust what I'm getting. Because often you get an image or something, and you're like, well, is that right? It's so easy to question it.
Yeah.
And so just being able to say, yes, I can trust that. That's huge.
It really is, and it's where so many of us kind of get stuck or hit a roadblock is,
Yeah.
I think things
Yeah.
are coming through, but how do I know?
Yeah.
Or how can I be sure?
Yeah.
So being able to kind
Yeah.
of compare notes with others is really
Yeah.
powerful, to trust and believe in our own abilities and our own skills. Okay, well, finish this sentence, if you will. I almost didn't join because.
Um, I think it really helped for me that you put it on sale. That I got a discount. I think that was the only issue for me, and I think that's partly because I get very thirsty for taking courses, so I have to budget, like, how much can I spend? And So
I totally get it. And sometimes it's like the timing has to be just at the right time and the right, all the pieces fall into place and then it's your time.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I'm glad the pieces fell exactly into place.
yeah.
Okay, and then if you can, what type of person would you recommend the earth tenders to and why?
Um, I would recommend it to someone who's kind of just waking up and recognizing that the earth is alive when we're going through this ascension process and wants to know more about how to um, be aware of and tuned into earth energies. Because I think it's a really good um, doorway to start off on a journey.
A place to step into and get started. So wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your feedback. I really appreciate it. And for anyone who's watching, if you're interested in the Earth Tenders Academy or in working with me in this way, click the link, check it out, and learn more about it. So thank you so much for joining us, Lindsey, and I'll see everybody soon. Bye.